Good morning, dear children. Today we are going to study outbreeding devices. In the last class, we have studied pollination and contrivances of pollination. And here one important question may be asked from here. That is, what are the different devices which promote cross-pollination and prevent self-pollination? In such a case, we have to say four important points. Namely, first one, in some species, the pollen release and stigma receptivity are not synchronized. That means the pollen maturity and stigma receptivity are not at the same time. In some species we can see the pollen will mature much earlier than the stigma receptivity. And in yet another plants, the stigma will mature very early and the pollen will mature only afterwards. In such a case only cross-pollination will occur. In the second case we can see the anther and stigma are kept in different positions, as in the case of clerodendron, bleeding heart, etc. Stigma is directed in one direction and anthers or stamen in opposite direction, so that the pollen do not reach the stigmatic surface of the same flower. And in the third point is that incompatibility or self-sterility. Here we can see self-sterility means the inefficiency of the pollen grain to germinate on the stigmatic surface of the same flower. Here also cross-pollination is promoted. As first of all we can see in some species the pollen release and stigma receptivity are not synchronized, and in the second case in some species the anther and stigma are kept in different positions, and in the third one incompatibility or self-sterility, and in the case of self-sterility we can see the pollen grains of the same flower do not germinate in the stigmatic surface of the same flower or same plant. And in the last one is production of unisexual flowers. In the case of unisexual flowers, here when the plants produce only unisexual flowers, cross-pollination alone is possible. When coming to these unisexual flowers, we can see here they may be produced in two different ways, such as monoecious plants and dioecious plants. In the case of monoecious plants, we can see male and female flowers are produced in one and the same plant, but male and female flowers are separate. In such a case, cross-pollination alone is possible. When coming to dioecious plants, we can see this male and female female flowers are produced in separate plants, as in the case of nutmeg, papaya, etc. And here also cross-pollination is promoted. Thus we can see the different points are, first of all we can see the pollen production and maturity and stigma receptivity are not synchronized, and in the second one some species anther and stigma are kept in different positions so that to prevent self-pollination. In the third one incompatibility or self-sterility is there. In such a case the pollen grains of the same flower do not germinate on the stigmatic surface of the same flower, and then production of unisexual flowers. In this case the plant may be either monoecious or dioecious. In the case of monoecious plants, male and female flowers are produced in one and the same plant, but the male and female flowers are separate. In such a case also we can see cross-pollination is possible. And then coming to dioecious plants, we can see that male and female flowers are produced in different plants. In such a case also we can see this cross pollination is encouraged. Next we have to study incompatibility or self-sterility. Self-sterility. Incompatibility or self-sterility. Here you know, when the stamen produce pollen grains and the pollen grains fail to germinate on the stigmatic surface of the same plant, it is called self-sterility or incompatibility. Or we can also say that when the gametes of the same plant fail to fuse together, it is also called incompatibility or self-sterility. There are two different types of self-sterility, namely gametophytic self-sterility and sporophytic self-sterility or incompatibility. Gametophytic compatibility and sporophytic compatibility. Now we can see there are different causes for incompatibility or self-sterility, and the different causes are based on prevention of pollen germination, that is the pollen grains do not germinate at all on the stigmatic surface of the same plant, that is failure of germination of pollen grain or prevention of pollen germination. In the second case we can see the pollen is germinating but the pollen tube is not growing properly, that is a retardation of pollen tube growth. First of all, prevention of pollen tube, prevention of pollen germination, and in the second case pollen is germinated but the pollen tube is not growing properly or retardation of pollen tube growth, and the third one is deorientation of pollen tube, that is the pollen tube is not growing towards the egg and it is growing some different directions, then we can say that it is deorientation of pollen tube growth, and last one is the failure of nuclear fusion, that is a failure of the fusion of the male and female nucleus, male and female gametes. Thus we can see two different types of incompatibility is there, gametophytic incompatibility and sporophytic incompatibility. And then again the different causes of incompatibility are prevention of pollen tube growth, then retardation of pollen tube growth, and then again deorientation of pollen tube growth, and last one is failure of gametic fusion. In all these cases we can say incompatibility occur. The different causes are prevention of pollen tube growth, retardation of pollen tube growth, deorientation of pollen tube growth, and also the failure of nuclear fusion. The next point that we have to study along with this is the pollen pistil interaction. Pollen pistil interaction. We can see that the stigma will identify the pollen grains, whether it is of the right type or of the wrong type. When it recognizes that it is of the right type, it will germinate on the surface of the stigma, and thus the stigma has the ability to identify the pollen grain whether it is of the right type or a wrong type. When it recognizes that it is the right type, the pollen will germinate and grow downwards and fertilization will occur. And if it is the wrong type, the pollen do not germinate. That is what is known by the name pollen pistil interaction. And we can say that the definition as at the time of falling of the pollen grain in the stigmatic surface till the fusion of the male and female gamete is known by the name pollen pistil interaction. Thus we can see the stigma will identify or recognize whether it is of the wrong type or the right type. If it is the right type, it will germinate and cause fertilization. And if it is the wrong type, it will not allow the pollen to germinate on the stigmatic surface. And then the falling of the pollen grain till the fusion of the gametes is known by the name pollen pistil interaction. Next we have to study artificial hybridization. Artificial hybridization, you know, it is a major program, a major approach of crop improvement program. It is a major approach of crop improvement program. The different steps involved in artificial hybridization are selection of the parents, emasculation, bagging, artificial pollination, rebagging, collection of seed, pure line cultivation, selection and collection of seeds and distribution to farmers. First of all, selection of parents. Parent plants with desirable characters are to be selected. It is very important for the production of hybrid plants. Next we can see emasculation. If the selected female parent is producing bisexual flowers, the stamens from the flower bud is to be removed before it becomes mature. The removal of the anthers from the flower bud before the flower bud opens and the anthers mature is called emasculation. Emasculation. The third step is bagging. The emasculated flowers are to be covered with paper bags or plastic bags of suitable size to avoid contamination by foreign pollen grain. Then the next step is artificial pollination. That is, the emasculated and bagged female flowers, when mature and the stigma become receptive, is to be artificially pollinated by the pollen grains collected from the male parent. This is artificial pollination. First, selection of parents having desirable characters, then emasculation or removal of the anthers before the flower bud opens and anthers mature, and then bagging to avoid contamination by foreign pollen grains. Next is artificial pollination, that is, the collected pollen grain from the selected male parent is rested on the receptive stigmatic surface, is done by the artificial pollination, and then it is again rebagged to avoid further contamination by foreign pollen grains. Now the pollinated flowers are allowed to mature for the production of fruits and seeds. When the fruits and seeds are mature, the seeds are collected and the collected seeds are then sown in separate rows known by the name pure line. That is what is called pure line cultivation. And then from this pure line cultivation, we have to select plants with desirable qualities, and the seeds are collected, and that seeds are to be distributed among farmers for further cultivation. These are the different steps of artificial hybridization. That is, selection of the parents with the desirable characters, then emasculation, bagging, artificial pollination, rebagging, collection of seeds, pure line cultivation, and then selection and collection of seeds from the pure lines and distribution of seeds to farmers are the different steps. One thing here we have to know is that if the female parent produce only female flowers, there is no need of emasculation, but only bagging and artificial pollination and the collection of seeds is needed. This much about artificial hybridization. Artificial hybridization, it is a major approach in crop improvement program. Today we can stop here.